Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 410 South Park Street here in Carlton. We're located at the rear of the home. We're at the, there's a lot of doors on this house, but based on where I think the front is, this is the side that faces out toward South Pine Street here. So anyway, we have a 4-inch ABS clean out and cap here. The top's been broken off probably by the lawnmower. I would recommend getting that changed out for a flush cap that doesn't have a knob on top of it. That way you don't ding it up with the lawnmower. And at this point here, you've got a wide open hole for things to fall down into it. Anyway, we're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. Here we go. Now we're going through a section of standing water. We'll take another look at that area on the way out when the line's all drained. It looks like it transitioned here amongst that standing water over to right around here at about 48 feet out over to 3034 PVC pipe. It looks like it transitioned here. As best I can tell, I think this is necking out to 6-inch pipe here. It's really hard to tell because of the hard turn on the line. And then it transitions from PVC or 3034 PVC. It looks like over to clay pipe here. And this joint is not in good shape. It looks like it's significantly offset or broken here. It may have some roots coming through there as well. You know, whatever that is, it'll move. That's probably going to need to get drain cleaned out of the way there. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It could be a piece of root that, well, it looks like it made its way out there, thank goodness. Well, we have a fairly separated joint there. This right here at 68 feet appears to be the main lateral connection. I'm going to go do locates to verify where this is at, and then we'll let the line drain out completely here before reeling back. More than likely, this section of the line is going to probably be the city's. I'm going to locate right here and just mark this because this joint is quite offset here, or not offset, but separated. You've got about an inch separation there at least, and there's that big object stuck in there. I don't know exactly what that was, but you can see the potential for stuff to get hung up here, as well as you've got a wide open joint to the ground most likely that's going to cause other issues. So, alright, located this particular spot here out in the middle of the street on Park Street. I put a white X out there. It's in the middle of the road, so I do recommend contacting the city. Generally, out in towns like this, once you hit the right-of-way or the street curb, the city takes responsibility. So I would just check into that. Looks like the line is just about all drained out here. We're going to go ahead and start reeling back. Anyway, I do recommend correcting that joint there as it is separated. If it's the city's responsibility, they'll take a look at it. And it's not one that's affecting the functionality of the line getting stuff from point A to point B significantly at this point, but we do have a compromised joint there. This spot here is kind of hard to tell. I think we just have some stuff that's hung up in some cobwebs there. We really don't get a good look at the top of the pipe. It kind of looks like tree roots there, but again, it's in the middle of the street. It's an unlikely spot to get roots to begin with. We have a small amount of standing water right here. This is a very, very minor belly. That water level there is only about a 1/16 of an inch, which is nothing concerning. Generally, once you get to about 5 feet or more of pipe with 3/4 to an inch of water or more, that is where I typically start seeing regular old toilet paper collect in the sewer line. It looks like some settling has occurred there as well. Again, it's a pretty minor spot there. We have way less than 1/4 of an inch. It's right around a 1/16 of an inch. It's extremely minimal. This spot right here, though, we've got so many stinking cobwebs, it's hard to see exactly what's going on. It looks like we may have some debris that kind of hung up in the cobweb there on the left side of the screen. I don't see any obvious root strands coming down through there. It mostly just looks like cobwebs with some junk built up in it. And that's kind of where the belly starts there. And all that standing water there, it's over a stretch of about maybe 10 feet of pipe, and it's all sitting around a 1/16 of an inch. None of it even comes up to the camera lens, which is only 1/4 of an inch. Now, for that reason, I'm not recommending any repairs there. As long as you're not putting crazy stuff down the line, like diapers or big wads of paper towels, everything else is going to shoot through that spot with very little issue whatsoever. If there were a 3/4 to 1 inch of water there, would be a different story. I would recommend it be fixed, but at that point there, it's, in my opinion, is not worth doing it. And I'm going to reverse direction here in just a moment to scope back into the home. We're just about back to the clean out here. Alright, we're now going back into the house. This is switched back over to, it's like cast iron pipe here. And now we're into ABS, so it looks like a portion of the line in here has been updated. Now this right here, though, is a little concerning. It looks like there's a hole in the side of the pipe right there. As best as I can tell, it's kind of strange looking, but it looks like there's just a hole in the pipe there, and you're looking out into the crawl space or something. Now, I'll try and locate where this is roughly underneath the floor. I won't be able to do any locating in the crawl space, but I'll put a painter's tape X on the floor where this is at. I do recommend going inside the crawl space to inspect that. That does, I mean, it's possible you have some kind of drain line hooking in here, but it's kind of strange looking if it were to be one. And we've got a lot of junk collecting here inside the... Ooh. Well, I'm not exactly sure what we've got here. This looks like some kind of pipe's been shoved inside of another pipe. And looking at this actually, the reason I'm thinking it's cast iron right off the bat, just because we're going back inside the home, this is actually looking more like clay pipe we have under the floor here, which typically you do not see inside of a crawl space area. I don't generally like seeing inside the crawl space. It's a pipe that's much more prone to joint separating, and opening up, and that is not an ideal situation inside the crawl. But this does not look good here. You've got a pipe that's just jammed inside of another pipe. I don't know exactly what that's servicing there, so I'll try and locate this here. I recommend having a plumber go inside that crawl space there and review this video, because the one thing I want to make sure of is that this is even allowed to be inside the crawl space this way. Typically, I never see clay pipe inside of a crawl. It's always cast iron until you get about 5 feet out of the foundation. Then it will switch to clay or concrete. I went back and located this underneath the floor. We're right around where the bathroom is, near where the kind of in between the bathroom and the stairs. And I turned on the bathroom sink there. Okay, it's tying in right there at this spot. So from this point forward, though, I'm not able to go any further. And the hard part is I'm here by myself right now. To try and do a toilet flush is a little trickier of a situation. But there's a massive amount of debris that's built up here in the line. You've got a sink and quite possibly a toilet draining into this particular area. I highly recommend at the very least you drain clean this out, but at this point I would recommend updating the pipe inside the crawl space here. Now that I see that it's clay pipe, I'm not a fan of that inside the home. As I said, this is extremely old pipe. It's very prone to joint separating, and that's not a type of pipe you want to have inside your crawl space. It's likely at this point letting some sewage escape the line into there. As you've got bellies here. Whenever clay pipe settles, the joints open up. So I would recommend this whole stretch back to this point be corrected. And whatever this piece of pipe that's jutted into here is, I'm not exactly sure why that's there, or why it's set up that way. But if that's servicing some kind of drain, like a shower or sink or something, I mean, it needs to be updated and corrected. You can see how much debris is collecting there. It looks like the line is bellied out and it's causing a lot of stuff to build up. And if that's a spot where a toilet's being serviced through, you're going to get a blockage and a backup there very easily. Anyway, I apologize it took me that long to figure out that was cast iron. It's just very unusual to see clay pipe inside of a crawl space like this. In this spot here, I believe they've got a section of plastic spliced into it. It's kind of hard to tell there. Either way, pretty much all that pipe going through the crawl space there looks like it's clay, though. I recommend updating all the pipe throughout the crawl space there that is still original clay pipe, and then having just a plumber review the video to see what else needs to be done there. You've got kind of some strange configurations. Oh, we also have, here, I'll go back and show this one more time. At about 15 feet in, it appears that we have a hole in the side of the pipe right here. So those two issues, I mean, if this is a hole in the side of the pipe, it's just at a point where it needs to all get updated. It's the ideal time to do it. You may have had an old drain tying in there that got pulled out and that hole never got clogged up, because it looks like on the other side of that, it almost looks like clay or brick. It just does not look like a drain connection to me at this point. It looks like a hole. Now, for that reason, I recommend updating the interior main line of the crawl space. And I don't know what the condition of the auxiliary drains are, but I would have that stuff looked at by a licensed plumbing contractor. On the exterior of the line here, not recommending any repairs. We do have that separated joint out at 66 feet, which again, in towns like this, generally the city is going to take responsibility once you reach the street area. And that's going out right out here to Park Street. If that joint is not that of the city's, I do recommend it be repaired. It's not one that's going to just cause your line to back up tomorrow, but it's one it's likely allowing water to escape the line. You've got a joint there that is compromised and separated and open to the ground. And then the interior pipe here, I recommend all be replaced and updated. I recommend a licensed plumber take a look at the video and the interior crawl there. You've got some issues going on down there.